Liverpool 4, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Let's not underestimate what that result means. It is absolutely incredible. I mean, this is a Bayer Leverkusen team that has only lost twice in the last 68 games, and they're unbeaten for 32 away games. 32 successive away games without defeat, and we absolutely battered them in the end. It was an absolute joy to watch, and it'll have sent shockwaves throughout Europe, especially when you look at some of the other favourites for the trophy and the way they performed today. But anyway, let's just get into it. First half, it was an interesting first half because it was a tactical battle. Leverkusen, I've watched them a lot. I watched them last season because, we thought Alonso might be coming to Liverpool. So I watched them, and they're a very, very good technical team. They're very good at knocking the ball around, playing pretty patterns. And at the end of it, they've proven to be very good at finishing off moves as well. So it was a tactical battle in the first half. Liverpool started quickly, but then after about 15 minutes, Leverkusen had 62% possession at one point. But Liverpool, and this was key, and I noted it in the group at the time, and I noted it at half-time, is that every time we turned the ball over and went at them, they didn't look comfortable. They didn't look like they were capable of keeping us out. And I noticed that in their Bundesliga form, after 9 games, they've let in 15 goals, which is not good. That shows that their defence is really struggling. And there were signs of it. We couldn't quite get it right. I think it was the front three were trying to figure out the Diaz through the middle thing. Gakpo out wide and Salah obviously in his normal spot. And so there was a little bit of teething trouble with that. But also Leverkusen were using up a lot of energy, high energy, trying to keep Liverpool at bay and knocking the ball around, loads of running. They were doing loads and loads of running. So at half time, it was a stalemate. It was a stalemate in pretty much everything. Stalemate in tactics, stalemate in chances, and stalemate in scoreline. But I really did feel that if we just started to get it right in the final third, that we would score in that second half. And so it proved. Second half started, Leverkusen, for whatever reason, they started the half with nowhere near the same level of intent as throughout the first half. They were sitting back, sitting deep, and the referee had to warn them at least twice in the first 5 minutes of the second half to stop time wasting. So I thought, this is playing into our hands, and so it proved. It took us a little while in the second half to really move through the gears, but something interesting happened. One of the lads in the group said at half time, he was at the match, Paul Bevan, if you're watching, said that the crowd was flat in the first half, and you could sense that just watching it on the telly. But at about the 50 to 55 minute mark, the crowd suddenly came to life, and it wasn't because we were suddenly creating loads of chances. It just decided, right, we're going to come to life and we're going to help these boys out because they need it. And you could feel it in the stadium. With that, I don't know whether it was because of that or whether it was coincidental, but Liverpool suddenly went into overdrive. It all started with that quite magnificent pass from Curtis Jones to Luis Diaz, who just dinked it over the keeper like he'd been playing centre forward all his life. I had 2 explanations of it afterwards. It was that it was a Dalglish finish or it was a rush finish. Take your pick, doesn't matter. It was brilliant. That changed everything because Leverkusen then could not cope. 2 minutes later, Mo Salah curls in a cross right onto the Gakpo's head, and he almost burst the net with it. It was a brilliant header. The linesman flagged for offside. I was sure it wasn't offside, just on first glance. It was a bit closer than I thought, but it was onside. And then Leverkusen lost the plot completely. They were all over the place. We were peppering the goal. I wrote it down here so I can remember. All of these missed chances that they actually could have scored. Salah, Nunez, Gakpo, Trent, Jones and McAllister all had good chances, better than half chances, and they were hanging on. Then in the 83rd minute, Luis Diaz, I think it was the 83rd minute, gets his second, Liverpool's third. Once again, he's just in the right place at the right time. And another few minutes after that, Darwin Nunez, who came on to great effect, he made a few wrong decisions when he was clean through, or almost clean through, but he takes a shot. It deflects off the defender, and Diaz, like a seasoned centre forward, is there to just rifle it home. He gets his hat-trick. It's 4-0. We were probably guilty, if you could say anything, and this is what a manager would do, of saying, you took your foot off in that last few minutes, and Leverkusen had 2, maybe 3 chances where they could have scored. Kelleher came up trumps like he tends to now every single week. It was an absolute joy to watch. When you're looking at this team with the new manager coming in, and after 4 games we won 3 and lost 1, but you're thinking this is looking all right, and then as the weeks have gone by, you're thinking this is looking better than all right, and you look at today, and if that second half is any indication of what the future of this team can look like, oh my God, where can it go? It was just absolutely superb. So on to the shout outs. Well, the first one goes to the manager. Now, 14 wins in his 16 games so far. Top of the league, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, the only team with maximum points, 4 wins out of 4. In the Champions League, for the 4 games we played, we've scored 10 and had 1 goal against. We've got the best defence in the Premier League. We've got the best defence in the Champions League. And we're hitting teams for 3s, 4s and 5s this season. And it's only going to get better because Slot is just starting to figure out what this team is all about and what it can do and where everyone's best position is. And he's now rotating brilliantly as well. Like at first it was the same. The team I think that he trusted the most to get the season up and running. But as everyone's bought into his philosophy, after everyone's bought into his style and what he wants and the work ethic that he wants, he's now starting to rotate to brilliant effect. The second shout out should probably be in first because he got an hat-trick, but my God. First half I thought, oh, is this going to work? He's a winger and he wasn't quite getting on the end of things, wasn't quite making the right runs. But second half, he looked like he'd played centre forward all his life. The composure, the calmness that he showed in putting the ball away was that of a centre forward who's been doing it for years. The other thing, great forwards, great centre forwards have 2 things. They're calm and composed when a chance comes, and they just automatically know the right choice to make to score the goal. And the second one is they have a sixth sense as to be in the right place at the right time. Well, he showed all of that in his second half. We've not really considered it, have we? We haven't said, he's been played on the left, he's been played on the right, but he's never really been played through the middle. And I hope it doesn't get changed for Villa at the weekend, because that were a treat. Gakpo left and him in the middle and Salah feeding the balls in from the right. It was tremendous. On to Salah, 2 assists, 2 more assists, 9 goals and 9 assists now this season. I know he's always in the shout-outs, but he always has to be. I hope I have to give him a shout-out every game, because he's a phenomenon. And two more to add to his total today. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The next shout-out goes to Curtis Jones. He's making himself undroppable, isn't he? There were 2 things that I thought were holding Curtis Jones back, and I wondered if he could ever make it at this level. And I always said, I've said it to many of you, but speed of feet and speed of thought. I always thought he was a little too slow, and I always thought that his decision making was just a fraction too late. Well, once again, this probably goes back to slot, because he's improving everybody, and Curtis Jones is flying across the pitch now. His decision making is getting better. That ball for the opening goal was world class, and he was brilliant against Chelsea the other week. He was brilliant again today, and I can't see him getting dropped. I think he's making the position his own. He must be listening, and he must be getting the right level of coaching, because this is a different Curtis Jones, and I absolutely love it. So well in, lad. That's you've won me over, and I was worried that we would never quite see you at this level, but you've gotten there. 2 more shout outs I need to do, and not specifically because of their role today, but more in what they've done over the last few games, and they did it again today. And that is Kelleher and Costas. Kelleher comes in for the world's greatest goalkeeper and has been flawless. And once again today, after virtually nothing to do, I think after about 75 minutes, Leverkusen had only had 1 shot on target. Then they had a few at the end of the game. He kept everything out. He made 1 double save, and he has just been a joy. When a substitute goalkeeper normally comes in, the defence can get nervous because they don't really trust him. They trust him implicitly, and that's the biggest compliment he can be given. So brilliant. And then Costas, who would have predicted that Andy Robertson would be on the bench and Costas would be playing out of his skin and keeping him out? Not many of us, but he has been impeccable. And once again today, he was tremendous. They were all tremendous. And I know there were some thoughts at half time that it was a little bit too slow, it was a little bit too mundane. But this team has the capability of just turning it on and blowing teams away. Everyone's saying it, I'll say it because it's true, but it's not the heavy metal football that we've been used to. But it is cold, calculated, meticulous, with bursts of energy that no one can live with, and it is paying such huge dividends. One of the biggest things in football, just to finish off, is momentum. The winning habit and momentum cannot be underestimated, and right now those players have got to be absolutely on cloud 9 after that today, and thinking that they can beat anyone. I know I'm sitting here thinking we could beat absolutely anybody. And we've got Villa next. Villa at home before the international break. Villa, who've just had 4 put past them by Tottenham. We can't underestimate them. They're a good team, but oh my God, if we can play anything like we did in that second half today, I fully expect us to go into that international break riding high. So until then, go watch it again, because I know I'm going to. Have a great few days. Happy bonfire night to everyone in England, and I'll see you after the Villa game. You never walk alone. Ta-ra.